Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our podcast of Inside NDF, highlighting those who share our mission of kindness, inclusion, and community, or as we like to refer to it, hashtag KIC. We like to interview those movers and shakers of the dance industry and share what they are doing and their thoughts with you. Today, we're very happy to have Miss Kim or Kim Black, fondly known to all of us. So, welcome. We're so excited to have you here. So, Kim, what I'd like to really start out with everybody is tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you first, Kathy, for having me here. I'm so excited and I love being around you and I love your mission and everything you stand for. So I have a pretty interesting story. I've been around just like a lot of us. I've taught dance for many years. This will be my 38th year teaching.
Wow.
And I did something a little differently. My family, I raised my three sons and I've always taught dance for different studios. And I like to say I bagged the groceries. I learned a lot during that time and I loved it. I mean, dance has always been a part of my life. And when I turned 50, I said, it's time. Like, it's time. I'm ready to do it for myself, by myself, and open my own studio. And of course, it was going to be Miss Kim's. I was well known for the preschool program, and teaching the little ones is my love. It's what I love to do. It's what ignites me. I absolutely love it. And so I signed my lease. I got my little business plan, signed my lease the day everything was shut down, March 13th, 2020. And
Wow.
so where some people think that would be so scary, it was a gift of time. It was a gift of time. So for the next 2 months, I learned everything I could learn about business. I took all my experiences. I knew exactly what to do and what not to do, and I implemented it. And I opened June 1st with, a goal of 100 students. And I would hold a camp because I couldn't call them a class. I held a camp and held 2 weeks of camp, bought my floors, held 2 more weeks of camp, bought my bars. I was, when I say in the trenches, I made it happen. And that goal of that first 2020, was 100 students. And I've grown it to over 1,000 in 4 years. So I'm very, very proud. However, I've got a tremendous team that is behind me. And I chose my niche. I chose preschoolers. And so we're Studio Miss Kim's. We only go up to age 11. So
I love it. I mean, that's a phenomenal story. So it shows that dance is like so innovative at any age, quite
mhm,
courageous and quite inspiring.
mhm.
But like, how did you become involved in dance in the first place? Even before, were you a dance student? Did you the love of teaching? So what was it?
Well, I love to share the story because, again, I feel like I'm not like most. I wasn't able to take dance class. I can remember early memories. I had two older brothers. We lived way out in the country, and I can remember seeing Sesame Street, and I wanted to be a ballet dancer, and I would hold my cold bed. I remember the bars, and I did not get a chance to take dance until I was 11 years old. And so I can remember and I tell this to my students. I remember walking into the studio and having that first dance class and felt like this is me. I felt happy. I loved it. And quickly, not I was 14, 15. One of my teachers asked me to start helping them with class. And then I won their scholarship that next year and got to take dance for free. And I understood why I received that. And I think about that to this day, like what were the qualities in me that they chose me. And so I implement a lot of that in my studio, the culture that I want here at the studio. And so, yeah, someone mentored me and someone believed in me. And I got to start teaching at a young age. And I give girls that chance. If I see things in them, I give them those chances too, because someone believed in me. And had they not believed in me, I would not be Miss Kim. And so that is my story. How I went on to East Carolina to take dance class. I always love to say that some of the famous people that were in class with me, I was definitely more towards the back, but it was a great, great program. Sadly, I had knee surgery and I did not fulfill those, dance major dreams like most. However, I was exposed to incredible teachers and incredible dancers, part of that East Carolina dance program, and carried on with me. So that was my journey. I was more of a teacher, and I
Yeah.
didn't get the chance to perform.
I can understand that. It was the same with me. And I loved teaching also. And what's so nice about being a dance teacher, which is a little bit different, is, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, you kind of stay with your student for years.
Mhm.
Them grow from
Mhm.
elementary school to junior high to high school. You watch them go through the years. So you develop that special bond. Like you say, if you want to help someone and
Mhm.
educating so much too. I have met you as being a phenomenal educator. Everyone raved about you. So, also working with UDMA, we know that you are going to be a presenter there again this year,
Mhm.
like you were last year. And again, everybody's like, you gotta have her back, which we're happy that we
Thank
are.
you.
So, why is working with and educating dance teachers so important to you?
There's so many different reasons. I love being around dance teachers and love being around preschool dance teachers because we all understand each other. I teach 41 classes a week right
Wow.
now. And so we have all the stories. We share all the same experiences. And I don't want what I do. Everyone knows what to do, Kathy. They know how to teach dance. They want fresh ideas. They want, hey, well, what do you do here? What do you do here? So that's what I think. I love that community, and I love to give them a tip of making that something a little bit. This is what's worked for me, and they take that and run with it. I also feel like I've spent years developing these little tricks. I call them tricks and skits and stories and
They
unique
are.
things that work. I don't want them to go away. So I feel like it is so cool to hear from someone that says, "Hey, I did what you told me and oh my gosh, it worked." But then they may take that one thing that I did and develop something else. And I just think it's a ripple, trickle effect of, "Hey, let me inspire you. Let me show you what works." But then they go and use it and implement it in their studio, and then we all share together. So we all are getting better.
And that's interesting because I was going to also, which you touched on, ask you, like, what do you take away from that experience of teaching teachers? And
Mhm.
what can the attendees at UDMA expect today? I mean, coming up this year, because like I laugh, working with UDMA and working registration, you see the same teachers. I have never had as many come up to me and tell me that they needed to have another teacher back. So,
Well,
what
thank
can they expect today, this to kind of go in for next year?
Well, I always take notes, and I want feedback of, "Hey, what do you want?" They want more ideas. They just want what I call, what's a great word, like the meat and potatoes of a class.
Yep.
Like, how do you teach tendu? Or what do you do when you do chasse? Tell me what you do here. How can we do more obstacle courses? What kind of stories do you use? How do you teach skipping? Like all these things. But also they're very interested in classroom management. How do you create that environment to engage that young dancer? Like, how do you do it, Miss Kim? And I love to go through and tell them all my little tricks with that. And I always say we create on our own chaos. And so creating that environment from step one with the parents to coming into your room and then saying goodbye, like all there every moment matters. And so I think I like to tell them my secrets. I just give it to them. So what can they expect this year? They're going to get more ideas, but I am going to dive a little bit deeper into how to handle children and you know how do I know when the right time is to pick up that child that was crying and it's time to engage them and time to bring them in? Or how do I handle that child that doesn't want to do anything? How do I handle that? Yeah. How do I handle that parent that says, my child's not going to dance? What do I do? How do I go from that point to having them on stage this week at recital? And the parents like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I trusted you. I trusted the process, like you say. You know, I'm going to share more things like that. So they're going to get some of the same, but different. So, I'm excited.
Love it. And it's interesting because teaching preschool has its own set of, circumstances, because you still have that little 3-year-old who's loving life and just wants to kiss the mirror because she's
Right.
just happy to be there.
Or
So,
lick the mirror, or all that.
or, my favorite is the tap shoes on the wrong feet. So,
Mhm.
you look down and you're like, that looks a little different there. So it's very exciting to work with them. So
Mhm.
very nice. They'll be very excited and looking
Yes.
forward to this October.
Thank you.
But now, also apart from teaching preschool, you have special needs students too.
Yes.
So tell
Yes.
us a little bit about that, because that's near and dear to
Right.
National Dance Foundation, how that got started.
So in 2019, I started what's called Our Time to Shine. And it simply came from a little girl coming to dance class. And she was obviously autistic on the spectrum. Mom was just getting a diagnosis, and she fluttered around my room, like a little butterfly. And the mom, to me, was more concerned than I was about the child. The mom was so worried about it. And I remember calling her after class the next day, and she started to cry. She said, "This is what always happens." She's like, I try to get her to go somewhere, do an activity, and they tell me that she can't come. I said, "Wait a minute, you do not know who you're talking to." I said, "Let's figure this out." So I did. I created something for her, and although she stayed with that class, I created a program because I felt like that parent, it bothered me that it hurt her so much. Like, she was so worried. And I thought, those parents need a community even
Yes.
more so than those children that need a dance class, because the children are oblivious. They just are happy to be there. The parents are the ones that are, they feel like people are judging them, or, they don't know what to do. They don't have a place. So I created it. Emma, right there. Hold on. Let me get my finger right there. So that's Emma. She's still in my program. I started with Emma and Julie, and now we have 28 dancers. And Kathy, they are the highlight of my week. They meet every Sunday, and I have like 12 teachers that come and help me. And we are just, it's amazing. And I sent that video to you. You got to see them.
I loved it, and that was just wonderful. It was wonderful to have you involved in National Dance Week. The video
Mhm.
was great. We're going to send you out some T-shirts. So brag
Yeah.
about it a little bit. Tell us about who was in it and who was involved.
Yes. So all those dancers, they've been with me for years, and to be able to get to see those children grow and the confidence. And when I tell you they performed at our recital last week, not a dry in the house,
Oh,
and
I
every
bet.
parent was on their feet, every parent. And what a huge opportunity for us to show and shift the mindset of those people in that audience. Like, wow, you know, anybody can dance, everyone deserves a chance to dance, first of all, but also like, wow, their children are getting to see these differently abled children stand right beside them, and they are clapping for them. And then the Our Time to Shine are clapping for Miss Kim's dancers, and they're all together. And that is a huge lesson, huge lesson.
Love it. Love it. The mission for National Dance Foundation, as I start out the podcast, is hashtag KIC, kindness, inclusion, and community. What does that mean to you?
What it means, it means watching some of our most talented dancers be so impacted by a little girl in a wheelchair, where they, I think, feel an appreciation of what they're able to do, but also giving them a chance to be kind and cheer on these other children that can't do what they can do. So to me, all of that is just awareness of making better people, because better people create a happier situation and a happier culture, so that they're not feeling sorry for them. And the children that are differently abled, there's no feelings. They're pure joy. They know no differences. It's the
Yes.
ones that are able, they're the ones that feel it. But why not give them that opportunity of being kind? So it's like kindness, inclusion, and community means making children aware. And if we can make them aware at this young age and accepting going through into their teens, imagine what they become. like my teachers that help with
Very
our time to shine. They're now
right.
becoming special needs teachers. They're becoming occupational therapists. They're becoming physical therapists. Our time to shine has had a huge impact on my teachers to go on and do more.
I love it. And
Mhm.
we try to take a special time out during the year, and that's why we have National Dance Week to get as many people like yourself to share videos, to encourage others. Because when we see it's a synergy that goes, when we see one
Mhm.
person doing something, they're like, I didn't even think of that. I could do that. That would
Mhm.
be fun.
Right.
So this year we're making a big announcement. We have listened to what everybody said about April being kind of a recital, picture competition time, that now we are going to be moving National Dance Week to October, the first
Oh.
Friday of October. So everybody could start their year out in a positive way.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
can be. So it's going to be October 4th through 13th, 2024. Why would you encourage others to share and get involved in National Dance Week?
Oh, because it brings awareness and it makes your teachers, your parents, and your students think about it. They hear it in school and they hear these things, but to actually do it is a different story. So I would say definitely, you know, them getting to participate and making it aware, you're showing those dancers that it's important to you and they respect us and they love us, and you're creating this culture of acceptance and kindness and inclusion. So I think that's so important. You're giving them the opportunity to learn from you and to see and model that behavior, and so that they can go on and be more inclusive.
And you and I will be together during
Yeah,
National Dance Week.
yeah,
We will be in Jersey at the UDMA show, so we can really spread the word about how important
yes.
it is to share, and that is a good word. Any final comments about National Dance Foundation?
Yes, I would challenge dance teachers to open your mind and your heart to special needs dancers. I think I remember myself, I was afraid. Even with Emma, I was scared to get her out of her chair. It's different. I didn't want to hurt her. And I have learned so much. I mean, literally ripped the paper up and thought, I'm doing what I always do. And don't be afraid, teachers. Do not be afraid, because I'm going to tell you, when you open your doors to differently able children and create that space for them, you you'll never understand the power of what they can have on you until you do that. And then that just trickles around. It trickles. It's such a good thing. Don't be afraid.
I love that. Don't be afraid.
Yeah,
I love
don't. Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to meet with us, to be part of our podcast. I want to thank you for everything you do for National Dance Foundation, supporting National Dance Week. I'm excited again to have you as a presenter at UDMA shows in October. So if anybody would like to come, they can check out visiting Kim in her seminars at udma.org. But if you would like to learn more about National Dance Foundation, how we can help you to be unafraid, as Kim said, and ideas and ways to get involved, please visit our website at nationaldancefoundation.org. And once again, this is Inside NDF. Thank you, Miss Kim. Thank
Thank
you, everyone. And as always, we end with keep dancing. Thank
thank
you.
you. Thanks.